how are you? Today I will try to teach the poem written by Emily Jane Bronte. The name of the poem is Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. The very title of the poem is alliterative. Alliteration means repetition of the same letter at the beginning of some words. Here, the letter M is repeated in a mist. This alliterative device creates a musical effect, and it also adds to the mystic surrounding that is caused by the mist. So, Emily Bronte, an eminent British novelist and a poet. Her most renowned novel is Wuthering Heights, for which she is remembered forever. But this poem reflects or brings out the mind of an elderly poet who is captured by the nostalgia of her youth and childhood days. Two stages of life, young stage and childhood days. There are lots of poems are written about the nostalgic attraction of childhood. Dylan Thomas's poem Fernhill and others, and even in Wordsworth also. This poem, we'll try to read it, and whenever she refers to her childhood days, she appears to be innocent. Mild the mist upon the hill. The very first line is taken as the title of the poem. This is a very customary device or a practice at the time. John Keats also, one who is long in city pent or labeled Dems and Mercy. It's a different kind of poem. One who is long in the city pent. This type of poem, the first line is the title of the poem. Here also, Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. The poem starts with the title. Mild the mist upon the hill. So the mist or the fog is mild, not dense. ঘন ছিল না, হালকা একটা কুয়াশার আবরণ পাহাড়কে ঢেকে রেখেছে। This image of the hills surrounded by mild mist creates a note of mystery and romance, telling not of storms tomorrow. So this mist does not anticipate storm which will take place tomorrow, but it doesn't anticipate at all. You see, the word mist is a natural phenomenon, storm is also a natural phenomenon. So the poem is purely natural. Even from the analysis of the two lines, we can think about the poem that it is rather descriptive, telling not of storms tomorrow. No, the day, again the day. It's a fraction of the moment. The day has wept its full, and the day has been personified because day cannot weep, but here the day has wept its full. It may that it is raining throughout, spent its store of silent sorrow. Again, you see the repetition of the same letters, spent, store, silent, sorrow. These sibilant sounds, uses of sibilants, spent, store, silent, sorrow, again creates a mystic environment. And this sibilant, it is also a kind of alliteration because the same letter is repeated in the subsequent words. So the day which has been personified appears to pour out its silent sorrow in the form of rain. Oh, this interjection or exclamatory word, I am gone back to the days of youth. Now the poetess is gone back, the poet is gone back to the days of his youth, days of her youth. I am a child once more, again and again, from youth to childhood. So there is a shifting of from childhood to youth, from youth to childhood. And beneath my father's sheltering roof. This you can assume that sheltering roof may suggest the poet is hankering after safety and security. Sheltering roof brings out the sense of safety and security. And near the old hall door. The word old is clearly nostalgic. An old old hall door also appears to be romantic, as it indicates the past memory of the poetess. So there is a nostalgia, feeling of nostalgia and romantic note in recapturing our childhood days and the days of our youth at the same time. So in the two stanzas, the poetess tries to bring out in the first section she tries to depict an image of the hill which is surrounded by the mild mist and the day which has been personified, appears to be a nature week. এবং এই দিনটা কি হয়েছে না, তার বৃষ্টি ঠিক যেন সারাদিন বৃষ্টি জুড়ে তার দুঃখটা, তার ভিতরে অন্তর্নিহিত যে দুঃখ, pent up sorrow is released in the form of rain. It may be. And that in the second stanza, oh, I am gone back to the days of youth. This oh may indicate or it clearly indicates the ecstatic state of the poetess mind, because she is a child once more. This is romantic and innocent desire of the poetess to become child once more. And see, the sheltering house of her father appears to be an umbrella which gave her shelter and which she desired very much, with safety and security under the roof of her father's house. So this is all about the two stanzas. I have just discussed these two stanzas because to make you understand the fundamental attitude of the poet, which is nostalgic and romantic, in presenting her youth and childhood days. There are certain important words, you see. The word mild means soft. Opposite word is harsh. Mist means fog. Kuasha, strong wind or tempest. Feel the complete amount. And it is called feel means to complete amount, incomplete. This word spend means pass. Silent, soundless. Opposite word vocal. Sorrow meaning synonym is sadness. Opposite word joy. Beneath, it is called beneath. B is here omitted for the sake of prosody. meet and beneath my father's sheltering roof for the sake of meter. It means below, was what is above or upon. So this is all about the two stanzas of the poem. You just read these two stanzas repeatedly to get the idea, so that you can understand the poem and understand the fundamental or basic theme of the poem. Again, you see the tricks that in this poem we have an interpretation in the book. In this poem, the blue mist that surrounds the distant mountains reminds the poet of the happy days of youth and childhood that she has left behind. So she had a lingering sensation for the days of her youth and childhood. This lingering sensation creates in her a romantic, nostalgic mood. And here she tries to explore this romantic, nostalgic mood which lies in her childhood and childhood days as well as the days of her youth. So thank you very much for being with me. If you have any questions, please send me to the comment box, and I will take the next class on next Thursday, and the class will be uploaded. I will request you to keep your connection with the digital classes taken by me almost regularly for the benefit of my students.